What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, yes, it's a massive surprise for today's video. For once, we are finally going to be a little positive when it comes to Battlefield 2042. I don't know how long it's going to last. I'm sure at some point in this video, I'm just not going to be able to help myself and I'm going to start ranting. But for the time being, yes, some good news is finally coming for Battlefield 2042. For those who've been watching my channel for a long time now, especially through the Battlefield 2042 phase, you know my opinions about all-out warfare. I've been saying it for ages. One of the best possible ways to keep people interested with going into Conquest and Breakthrough and every other game mode of that sort in the main version of the game is to go ahead and cycle through all of the weapons and the maps that are in Portal. They literally have access to so much more content in a separate game mode, and they refuse to put it into their core game mode when it's continuously dying and losing players on a day-to-day basis. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. When I first initially saw that they were remastering a ton of classic Battlefield maps and bringing them into Battlefield 2042, I first initially thought that they're going to automatically be an all-out warfare. I mean, I might be stupid for thinking such a thing, but pretty much every company out there that brings in classic remasters put them in the core experience of the game. When I heard that they're bringing back these goated maps, I was expecting to play, 128 players on these maps, just have absolute all-out chaotic warfare, turning some of these maps that used to, be a little bit more tactical and have a little bit more, spacing and time in between certain objectives into just, like Operation Lockers. You know what I'm saying? But when Battlefield 2042 launched, they were never there. They were all stuck in Portal, and as you guys remember, Portal was just busted at the very beginning, so nobody really got to truly experience any of these classic maps on a regular basis. And even when DICE decided to go ahead and add in 64-player Conquest and Breakthrough into the overall all-out warfare mix, even in those very specific playlists that have the correct player count for these Portal maps, just in case the DICE developers were thinking, oh, we just don't want to add it in all-out warfare because these maps aren't made for 128 players. Well, here you go. You have a perfect opportunity. You have two playlists that are designated to 64 players, and they still didn't do it. And each and every one of you guys already know what happened next. We left. We just completely up and left the game, with Portal being unplayable, and also them cycling in and out game modes, and also having all-out warfare just strictly having awful map selections, and, just horrifying performance throughout all of these months. It just wasn't fun. Now, obviously, DICE has, further updated the game current date, but it's very crucial to nail these things in the very beginning. Right when the game launches, you need to push out a perfect first impression. And they didn't do that for like 7 to 8 months. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like, a couple of weeks after launch, I can see like, a quick patch update coming out to, really help out the game if it was that bad. But no, it took 8 months. Like, by then, guess what? We're just leaving. It doesn't matter how good the game is going to be later on. The majority of the community is already up and left. But if you are one of the remaining survivors of this game who are trying to push through all of this bullcrap, then I guess this is kind of some positive news for you guys. Over on Twitter, Battlefield Bulletin put this out, and also this was announced when, they were doing that developer, conversation talking about the future of Battlefield 2042. But Battlefield 2042 Season 1 will be adding some of the Battlefield Portal weapons and gadgets into all-out warfare, as well as the popular Rush as official mode. Starting in Season 1, players will see more of an existing Battlefield Portal maps joining the rotation in all-out warfare. As we all know, Rush is probably one of the most fun game modes in Battlefield 2042, and is probably one of the most iconic game modes in the whole franchise. People absolutely love Rush. It was so popular that everybody, including myself, were begging DICE to just add it back into the Portal. Just keep it a permanent mode. And of course, as we all know how DICE handles things in Portal, they kept cycling it out. And kept cycling out again, and again, and again, and we never got to actually permanently play Rush. It was only a limited time mode, and I guess they did that because they knew it was the most popular thing, it's the only thing that's actually going to bring players back into the rotation. But like I said, if you've been grinding out Battlefield 2042 for all this time, finally you'll be able to play Rush 24/7, no matter what. It will never, ever, ever be removed. It'll be in the all-out warfare playlist forever. And also, for all the individuals out there, including myself, who have been complaining about the lack of content in this game, and also, as we all know, the next upcoming season is going to be really rough. I mean, one map per season, basically, at this point, for all we know. I mean, Season 2 might be different, but Season 1, we're getting one thing. We're not going to see that much. So to know that the majority of all the, well, not the majority, all the Portal maps are going to be introduced into all-out warfare finally, and they're going to introduce the weapons and gadgets from Portal and put them into all-out warfare is just phenomenal. Anything is better than nothing at this point. Like I said, the game literally started off with the bare minimum. It was pretty much a beta. It still is a beta, till this day. So to see anything being introduced to just give it a little bit more replayability will be fantastic. But I'm sorry, something about this whole situation just still doesn't sit well with me. Like I said, I can't make this a positive video. I can't. As good as this information is, as positive as it can get, why did it take this long for them to do it? Like I said, since the first day Rush was introduced into Battlefield 2042, I'm not saying a little bit, all of the community asked for it to be a permanent mode. The game already lacked so much. The only things you could play were Breakthrough or Conquest. That's all you could do. So to have something fresh, unique, fun, and iconic from the Battlefield franchise come into 2042, we wanted it permanent. And they ignored us. Same thing with the weapons and the maps. Like I said, I've been preaching this for ages. For ages. The game lacks content. We need stuff to play, so why not bring in Portal maps? They're already in the game. We have 64-player servers, it works. And even current date, they just tested out in Portal Flashback Conquest with 128 players. And it worked 10 times better than 128 players on the base version of the map. So it's already proven that it doesn't matter if we needed a 64-player, playlist or anything in Battlefield 2042. From day one of this game, they could have added in all of the maps from Portal, and it would have worked out perfectly fine. Shoot, they could have just added it in for a week just to test it out. Just to test it. And then remove it if everybody hated it, but who cares? At least they tried it, right? But no, they didn't do any of that stuff. Nothing. Same thing with the weapons, the gadgets. The game lacks all content. They had the content to put in, and they refused to do it until the game was dead. What's the purpose, DICE? You had 7 months to make these changes. These aren't massive changes. You are adding maps into a different playlist rotation. Tell me how complex that actually becomes. The only complex thing is if it doesn't work with 128 players. But like I said, it's worth testing, and if it doesn't work, just remove. Oh my god. It just doesn't make any logical sense. DICE literally never does anything until either the very last second, or they just completely canceled it if it's not successful. They've been through 2 side modes that had potential. Firestorm, as much as I don't care for Battle Royales, if they worked on it, listened to community feedback, and did what they had to do, it would have been pretty popular probably. They could have actually expanded and probably brought it over to Battlefield 2042 and it would have probably done just as good. Just like how Warzone is transferring over through all these Call of Duty games. Is it what I want? No, I'd prefer if Battlefield was better. But again, like I said, it's just proof that DICE either never finishes anything or they wait until the very last second to finish it. And in this situation, they did both. They did not bother to even give Hazard Zone the time of day to improve it in any way, shape, or form, when it could have easily been done. A few tweaks here and there to actually, encourage people to come back and give it a try. And, tons of community feedback. I've seen a bunch of people give good, constructive criticism, and nothing was taken. Nothing was done. The only things that have been done were tiny little bugs and glitch fixes here and there to make sure, it doesn't, glitch around and break anything. But anything new to the mode or any enhancements to make it more replayable were never done to it, and as you know, they just canceled it. They're not even going to bother. And then now, out of all times, they're going to finally introduce more content after literally all. Now, I was literally about to say half their player base left. I was going to say half their player base, but no. After waiting until all of their player base has left the game, now they're going to add in the content into All Out Warfare after people have been screaming that for months and months and months. Since the beginning of the launch of this game, people have been asking for this, and you wait until everybody leaves. Like I said, this is good news. It is. I can't complain because it's a positive change for Battlefield 2042, but as much as it's good news, at the same time, it just blows my mind that the developers would actually wait this long to introduce something that would truly help the overall experience. It's so counterproductive, and it just shows that the development team, I don't know if they're lacking passion, if they're lacking inspiration, if they're lacking love for the franchise. I don't know if EA is overworking them. I don't know what the situation is here, but it's clear as day that I don't even think these are intentional plays. This is just literally a lack of motivation. The development team has 110% a lack of motivation. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to end the video there. I'm not going to rant your guys' ears off. Thank you all so much for tuning in this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like. Bums, I hate it. Leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new, enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button. Also, want to chat with me, this do so have a Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also, want to catch me live streams of video games, do over on Twitch. Link that's in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.